Today we are going to be talking about the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Do you want to hear the good news first or the bad?
Well, we're going to give you both today. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of living here in Metro Atlanta.
Stay tuned.
Hello everybody, this is Gamalier, Sturgis broker, realtor with Sturgis Realty Group.
And I'm Alan Rios. I'm the realtor with the Sturgis Realty Group here in Metro Atlanta.
And today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Metro Atlanta.
Yes, so we decided to put all the positives of living here in Atlanta and some of the negatives that come with living in Atlanta into this video. The question is, do you want to hear the good news or the bad news first?
Well, today we're going to give you both. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, and we're going to get started with number one.
All right, let's take a look at the number one pro of living here in Atlanta, and we all agree on this: jobs. Gamalier.
Definitely, Alan. Obviously, Atlanta is a big city.
It is.
And over the past 10 years, it's been growing as far as jobs. So if you're looking for work, this is definitely the city to be. We have Fortune 500 companies, 16 in the inner city of Atlanta.
Yeah, right in the city limits. And it's got the highest concentration of Fortune 500 companies in the country.
Yes, and one thing that sets Atlanta apart, and one thing that we see, the industries that they're growing. Obviously, a big industry here is the tech industry is growing rapidly in Atlanta.
The tech industry, you see a lot of that, especially across Fulton County. And the other industry that really stands out, and we see it around here all the time, the movie industry.
Yes.
I mean, that has grown tremendously over the last decade. And the movie industry has grown tremendously with a lot of the people from California bringing their companies here to Georgia and at Metro Atlanta.
And obviously you can't talk about movie without talking about Tyler Perry. Obviously that has one of the largest studios here located in Atlanta. So there's a lot of shows and movies definitely being recorded. But also you have companies like Microsoft investing a lot of money here into the city of Atlanta. And we had the specific video, check it out. It talks about the Microsoft project and what's going on here in Atlanta.
All right, let's go to number two. And this happens to be parks, Gamalier. And you know, when we drive around Atlanta, the one thing that really stands out to us is just the greenery of the city, right? Definitely. Even though we've seen a lot of growth, the trees still stand out in the city.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I was surprised when I first came to Atlanta how green Atlanta is. And a lot of people that come from out of state or all parts around the United States too, and around all parts in the world always are very surprised how green Atlanta and how many trees we have. And how many parks?
Yeah, it's known as a city in the forest, basically. If you go to any high point in the Metro Atlanta area and you look around the city, you just see a canopy of trees. But the park system here is great as well. And one park that really stands out, Gamalier, in the city of Atlanta.
Definitely Piedmont Park.
Yes.
And that's a major park located right inside downtown. And obviously, if you don't know about downtown here, you got the Midtown area, the downtown area, and then you got Buckhead too. So we have quite a few downtowns here. But you have actually a major park that is located in the city, and they do a lot of activity, festivals. You know, there's a lot of trails, dog park, a lot of things that happen there. But we also have other major parks in the area too.
Yeah, we got the Beltline, right? And that's part of the system of trails that goes through the city of Atlanta, and they're actually finalizing 22 miles of the Beltline, and that is a great place just to get out, especially like on a weekend. You want to just get out and stroll. They've got some bars and restaurants along the trail as well.
Yeah, it's great. You could actually rent a scooter and actually do the whole
bike ride too.
Bike ride, walk too, and it's connected actually to the Piedmont Park, to Pond City, to a lot of different neighborhoods. Like Alan mentioned, there's some great restaurants. Actually, you take a little walk and you can stop for a great meal too.
Yeah. All right, let's go to number three, and this was a big part why I chose Atlanta. The mild winters, Gamalier. The winters are really not that bad compared to a lot of the northern cities.
And that's one thing that I enjoy too. Obviously, we have 4 seasons, so it's nice here that you have this 4 seasons. And like Alan mentioned, the winter is pretty mild, but obviously, forget about having a little bit of snow.
Oh my gosh. Take a look at the picture behind us. Remember Snowmageddon? Where everything came to a standstill back in January of 2014. We had 2 inches of snow, but underneath that snow, we had some ice. And that really stranded a lot of folks on our highway system here.
And obviously, one of the reasons why we were not prepared, we didn't have the equipment like they have up north. So little bit of snow did stop the whole city, and that was actually. But obviously, another thing that set the city apart of Georgia and Atlanta is that we have 217 days of sun.
Yeah, that's an average sunny days here in the city of Atlanta. So that's pretty incredible. And as far as temperatures are concerned, generally speaking, we see highs generally in the lower 50s in January, lows right around freezing or so. But overall, with the sunny days and temperatures in the 50s, feels pretty good out there, right?
It does. And obviously, another number 4 is this is a great city for millennials.
Oh yeah, it's a great millennial city, and they make up about 25% of the Atlanta population. So that's a pretty good amount of millennials living here in Atlanta.
Yeah, and the reason why, obviously, there's a lot of jobs like we mentioned here, opportunity here. We find that a lot of people that go to school, there's a lot of great universities in Atlanta.
Yeah, plenty of schools.
They seem to stay here in Atlanta and get jobs here and live here. But obviously, also, there's a lot of great bar scenes.
Yeah, there's great bars, Midtown.
Nightlife.
I mean, you go to Virginia Highlands. I mean, they've got some great areas to go out for entertainment, live music. You know, it's a great gathering point.
Yeah, and obviously there's another thing also that Atlanta's known for is a lot of great places to eat. So if you love great restaurants, you definitely would enjoy Atlanta. So
we love restaurants, right?
We love to eat.
Yeah, so great restaurant scene. One area especially is up on Buford Highway. I mean, there's plenty of restaurants in that area too.
Yeah, and obviously you got Buford Highway, you have Midtown, they have some great, excellent restaurants. You got Pound City too areas. So definitely there's a lot of places
Street
to
Market.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great places.
And that leads us to number 5. I mentioned Buford Highway, right? We've got a rich diversity here in the city of Atlanta. And when we talk about restaurants, as we did for number 4, there's a diverse amount of restaurants along Buford Highway. You can find restaurants from all over the globe, Gamalier.
And obviously diversity is important, very important, and that's one of the reasons also I chose Atlanta. 51% here identify themselves as Black, but obviously we have a lot of culture with it. We have a Hispanic population large here too. We also have a large Asian population and large Indian population too. Obviously, you find people from all around the world.
You do, yeah, you do. I mean, just walking around the city of Atlanta, if you go to the parks, you see people from all over, not only from around the United States, but all over the globe living here in Atlanta.
And obviously, one of the things, obviously, if you're from a different country coming in here, good thing about that I like is also we have one of the busiest airports that takes you anywhere in the world. So if you live here, pretty much you could go anywhere around the country, and you know you don't have to jump into a lot of flies. Here you have a lot of direct flights going out of here, Atlanta, to a lot of parts of the world.
Yeah, you can fly nonstop to Asia, right? Just from the city of Atlanta. All right, those were the pros. Let's talk about the cons. Some of the bad news of living here in the city of Atlanta. And number 1, no doubt about it,
traffic.
Take a look at the scene behind us, Gamalier. This is traffic here in Atlanta, right? Yeah. I mean, it can get crazy busy here, especially during the peak travel times during the morning, late afternoon, and evening.
And obviously, one of the reasons why we get so much traffic because we have a lot of major interstates here. We have I-85, I-75, which is one of the major big ones, I-85 and I-20. And
285, which kind of goes around the city of Atlanta. So we got 4 major interstates that diverge over Atlanta. So obviously, you know, we're gonna get a lot of traffic. People are coming in from the north, south, east, and west. And what about the trucks, Gamalier?
Look behind you, it's coming up.
Oh my God. A lot of trucks there, man. So, I mean, that's something you do have to encounter a lot of here in the city of Atlanta.
And it's a big business. We definitely are a truck hub here, major city in Atlanta, because obviously one of the reasons why our location, obviously a lot of trucks coming from Florida up north, and a lot of trucks coming from New York and from Savannah, Georgia too. So that's one of the things that you'll be surprised when you go in the freeways, you will see a lot of trucks in the freeway here in the Atlanta area.
Okay, number 2. Bugs. Who likes bugs, Gamalier?
Definitely. And obviously one of the bugs that is known here is?
Oh, the first bug that I came across when I moved to Atlanta were the large, like flying roach bugs, right? That you would see.
Yes.
And if they get in your house, they'll scare the believing Jesus out of you.
Yes. So those are obviously the large roaches are ones that come from the garden.
Sure.
And they're not as bad as small roaches. The small roaches, which are called German roaches.
Yeah.
If you see those in your home, you better call the
That's
pest
a different
control.
story. Yeah.
Those multiply pretty quickly.
Sure.
The large ones, obviously, not a big problem. But it's common here in Georgia to see the large roach once in a while coming into your home. But another part that people complain is about mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes can be a problem here, especially if you've got a backyard that has a lot of vegetation, right? Mm-hmm. And also maybe you have some standing water. You definitely want to get that taken care of during the summer months here, because if you want to, say, take the family out and just kind of spread out a blanket or sit at a picnic table in your yard, you're going to be doing a lot of this, especially right before, sunset, getting close to dusk. So it's a big problem here in those areas. But in my house, we've got that taken care of, just because we like to spend time outside.
And one thing I want to mention is that there's a lot of good pest control companies locally here. So you could hire a good one and you won't have that much problem as far as bugs coming inside your home.
All right, let's go to number 3. It's the lack of public transportation. And this one here, we've got public transportation around Atlanta. But when you think of Atlanta and where you need to go, you definitely rely on the automobile here, city of Atlanta.
Yeah, it's definitely a plus because a lot of places are spread apart. So if you're gonna go one place to another and explore a lot of things of the city, they're gonna be spread apart and not gonna be easy accessible. You may have to jump in 2-3 buses versus just taking the car. And one thing about Atlanta that I like also is that parking is pretty affordable. A lot of places, in some places are free. Like if you visit Atlanta station, you get a whole hour free before you go shopping.
Yeah. And
there's other cities and places where you can park for free too. So it's definitely a good thing to have in a car compared to other big cities like New York where you pay $50 in parking, Chicago. Atlanta is for being a big city, parking is definitely affordable here.
Yeah, overall, when you look at it, it is much more affordable than some of the major cities. All right, let's go to number 4. Speaking of cost of living.
Cost of living, obviously, we have seen, cost of living, obviously, the one thing about cost of living that over time, if you've been living here in Atlanta, you have seen since, the increase of rent the past 10 years has been dramatically almost double, and sometimes almost more than double. If you go back, you rent an apartment, 2-bedroom, 2 full bathroom with amenities, like you get tennis, pool, gym. You could, back in those days in 2007, you could get that apartment for roughly around $800 to $850.
Yeah, that's like when I first moved to Atlanta, I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Vinings for $800 a month in 2004. So that gives you an idea. That has doubled now.
Yeah, now, let's talk about now.
Easily.
Now we're in 2022, and now the same apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bath with some great amenities could run anywhere between $1,400 all the way to $2,000.
Yeah, especially the brand new communities that we've seen pop up around Atlanta. They're definitely going to be hovering in the upper 1,000s to lower 2,000s for rent.
Now, compared to all the major cities around the United States, like New York, California, we're still still affordable as far as cost of rental. But one thing always that we talk about in a lot of our videos is that here in Atlanta, you could actually buy a home and have a lower payment, fixed payment, than when renting. That rent keep going up. So it's definitely a big benefit to own here in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely buy here in Atlanta, and we'll help you out with that as well. All right, number 5, Gamalier, has to be schools. Now, when you think of schools around Atlanta, overall, we've got a pretty good reputation. Once we focus on the schools within the city limits, a little bit of a different story, right?
Yes, the inner city, obviously, they're working on improving them, but they're still, compared to the outside suburbs and the other schools in the area, they're very competitive, and they're one of the best. When you talk about Atlanta suburbs, Metro Atlanta, they have the best school systems all through the United States, the top schools in the area. But when you talk about, like Alan mentioned, the inner cities, there are schools that need a lot of improvement, and their ranking, they're still a little lower compared to a lot of those other schools.
Yeah, we've got some great schools up in Cobb County, North Fulton County, Gwinnett County, just a few examples out there where we have some top-notch schools, not only in the state, but in the nation, as Gamalier mentioned.
And then one thing that I mentioned, a lot of our clients that live in the inner city, they come in, they're young, they're exploring the city, having fun, they're working there. But once they start having kids, they have a choice to make. A lot of times is, do I send my kids to private schools?
Sure.
Which there are a lot of great private schools in the inner city.
Yeah.
Or do I go to the suburbs and get a better school system? So those are some of the decisions that people make when they live in the inner city.
All right, so those are the pros and cons of living here in the city of Atlanta. And if you know of a pro or con of the city of Atlanta, please leave that comment below our video, right, Gamalier?
Yes, and if you enjoyed this video, obviously hit the like and subscribe. We love to to hear from your comments and everything. And again, if you're looking to buy a home or to sell a property or to invest in real estate, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out.
All right, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you next time.
Have a great day.